Hello everybody, Jibbergush here. Today, I'm going to be going over Monte Baldo. Alright, so Monte Baldo is the standard United States military 1940s combat facility. Now this is for Syntax and perhaps just USM because both of them use it, so they just have different lighting. However, despite this, any USM can really use terminology, so this map may not apply to you. However, whatever training facility that you guys use for combat, I would look into it. I would ask what are the top terminology, or ask somebody, hey, make a video about your own training facility. Think about it. And so, with that being said, without further ado, I am going to get started in explaining to you the terminology and the places on Monte Baldo, starting from Able Spawn all the way over there to Baker. Alright, so first, I am going to be breaking up the map into sections because there are many different areas on the map and each of them have their own specific play in the heat of battle. So if we go up here, you are going to see that we have East, Main, and West. All these areas are used for specific purposes. East is for flanking. Whenever there is the ability to flank or you have a numbers advantage, sometimes people will push east. Main is also an area which is the most essential part of the map, and everybody will be there for the most part. Over half of your forces will always be there. And then you have West. West is off to the right side of the map, and it is also used for flanking. However, it is a more serious choke point, because if you lose it, there is a key weak point that you may be able to see already. Veterans will know it. However, and there's also a couple smaller areas that I will go over, which are the Able and Baker spawns, which are already widely known, and Hallway and Bunker. Hallway and Bunker are two separate areas that will play in certain circumstances. They do not play often, however, they have seen their uses and purposes at times. So without further ado, let us get started with the explaining part. First, let's go over East. East is going to be one of the either most useful or useless things that you will see in combat, because normally people kind of ignore it. It's a really long flank. It takes a long time to get around it. It normally takes a couple minutes to get from one side to the other, and so you will not see it used often. However, when it does get used, you have to send people there. There's no name for any part on here, in all honesty, but this entire area is called East, and it's a really big flank round. You have to keep track of it, because if one person slips by, let's say from Baker, they have all this access. They have all this access to go up to Main and flank you from behind. Same with Able. If Able is able to get all the way around, they have a clear shot on men if you have people at the bottom of this ramp here on Main. Because most likely there's going to be people here fighting and trying to get an advantage. Just holding the ground, trying to maybe get a kill. The only terminology I have for East is this is called the Tree of Life. Now, any of these trees could be considered the Tree of Life because these have really big hitboxes. If you stand right here, it is extremely hard to hit you. Even if your armor is out of it, the hitbox of the tree is bigger. As you can see, I'm not even touching it and there's a hitbox there. So these trees are really good. Those trees, if you're low, any of these big trees, even this one right here, all these trees are really great if you are low and you just need somewhere to hide. Smaller trees are alright, but these are guaranteed. And if the person is pushing you, it gives you a chance to recover, and if they're firing, give you a couple of chances to fight back. But with that being said, that's it for East. On to Main. Main. This is going to be the most essential and most important part of the map throughout any combat training or raid, or practice raid. Joint combat training, whatever you want to call it. This is the most important thing. This is the winning factor right here. So this is best to listen up right now. So this is Able. This is Able side. There are these two ramps that lead up to this little area right here. We don't have a name for this, but we have a name for these ramps. This is called long. Long is, as it says, it's very, very long. It takes a long time to get up here. And so most pushes will be coordinated from these two ramps. This is called short, as it's a lot shorter than this long ramp over here. Makes sense, right? And so normally, long will push first, they'll get about halfway, and then short will push up. And so both of them will come clashing down to Baker or whoever's up on it. And they'll be fighting to the death and trying to get it. It's a useful strategy. Just know that you need to have men to do it, and they need to be good at combat. Moving on from this little area, this is the plateau. And not many people actually call this plateau. However, I have heard it be called that. You may have your own name for it, but yeah. Because this is the highest point on the map that you are able to go on. And each of these sides have the ability to shoot at the enemy. It's a very clear line of sight to anybody trying to get on the hill. And also it prevents the people from, on the other side right here, to fire back and shoot you. So, there's also another area over here that Baker, the blue team, gets the ability to have. And so, this is called Crossfire. And Crossfire is essential because it prevents Abel from just pushing over the top. Because if this wasn't here, Abel could just trickle on over and hold this position forever. This is essential, but this is essential to hold if you're outnumbered, because this will allow you to get shots on like that. And if anybody's trying to cross over, just shoot them and kill them. And once again, there's another really big tree right here. Very good if you're holding this ramp right here. This is called back door. This is a direct entrance from west to main. And so both teams could use this. Mainly Baker tries to get a hold of it. However, I'll be going over about west in the next section. But so you know, this is back door, and many counter pushes can be made from here. So be very wary about what happens at back door. If you have the control of main, you're probably going to have two people back here. You'll be notified of who's going to be back there. If any, because sometimes you don't. This is Baker's ramp. This is Baker's only way to get up. It's essential to keep an eye on it, because normally there's going to be people here. They're going to probably gather a massive force of however many they have and try to retake main by pushing up it. And you can see sometimes people making the daring move and going across here to the other side into hallway to try and also get some couple shots off at the top. But other than that, that is main. Those are the main terminology that we use. And on to west. West is another important flank route, because this gives the enemy from Baker the ability to come up back door. And if you're a Baker, this gives you an opportunity to push from behind and kill the Abel. This is a key part, and this will always be in use. No matter what the match is, you'll have at least a couple people going west. At least one. It depends on the numbers. But always west is extremely important, because it is one of the most important flank routes, as it gives you direct access to main from behind. And whoever gets that is gonna have a really easy time taking it. So over here, there's not much else to it, but this entire corridor right here, all the way up, all the way through, is called west. And even this part, this is called bunker, which I'll get into later. But bunker is also part of west. This is a little section that is used sometimes when the enemy team is losing. I'll get into that later. But this is west. Abel has a one-way way to be able to get into it by this ramp over here onto the right. And Baker only has one way to get it by going down this straight corridor, which is the only way out of their spawn. So if Abel gets a hold of it, they have a direct line of sight down this area, because this is all fair game. If the enemy is out here in this area, let's say they're over here, this is fair game to shoot at. It might be hard, but it's still fair game to shoot at. Bunker. Well, if you're here, your team's probably losing really badly. Y'all are stuffing yourselves in here. Okay, so bunker. The bunker has a really bad stereotype for when you're losing, because normally the enemy's going to be a few kills away, and they're going to be knocking on your doorstep right here, trying to kill you all. But basically, bunker is a last ditch effort. if your team is losing, they normally try to make a break for the bunker. This bunker is a really strong position, as this is the only ramp to come up, and most likely there's going to be a couple deaths from whatever team you're fighting on. However, if you get in here, it's a very easy fight. Well, not even, because there's still other sections back here. Because this is still considered bunker, as it's just one little corridor after another little corridor, and there's no way to fight it. Because after you get back here, if your team's all the way back here, there's no getting out. Because you cannot climb on the rock. I mean, I guess you could try to do that, but then you probably get respawned. But I would suggest, if you're back here and the enemy team is taking the first little area, try fighting back right here. This seems like a really good spot to be able to just take some pot shots and kill those who don't expect it. But if you're here, just know you're most likely going to lose. However, if you can break a win out, good for you. Now, I'm too lazy to edit this, so I'm just going to fly with it. This is hallway. Woo, this is hallway. This is, or also known as Death Valley, as some people like to call it, because either you're going to flank the enemy from either side, because this is a direct access to behind enemy lines. However, normally there's going to be very vigilant people up here on main who are going to see you and they're like, oh, there's somebody going down the hallway. And so most likely they're going to redirect somebody from either side to go and fight you. And so you don't see this used that often unless the person is very confident that they can do the flanking route. This will never be used, because this is a direct line of sight from Baker, and this is a direct line of sight from Abel. It may take a bit of walking from Abel to get here, however, once you're here, it's a direct line of sight into Baker's spawn, which is essential. I'm going over the last couple things. This is Baker's spawn, this is where Baker is. Or Team Baker. I just threw myself. As you can see, I spawned here. So Baker will always spawn here, and I team myself Abel. On the other side, this is Abel's spawn. So Abel has two openings, one on the left, one on the right. Same thing with Baker over there, one on the left, one on the right. And they lead to different ways, but however, they will all lead into these main sections, east, main, and west. And you'll see all the fighting across the map. Because in combat, the entire map is going to be used. And so, hopefully, this little guide has helped you. And I hope to be seeing you in future videos. If I missed anything, please let me know down in the comment section below. And if you want to add anything, also comment down below. So with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!